welcome back to my channel. This is Ruby here. Thanks for watching, guys. So in today's video we're going to go over the coverage and what I use and how I use it. Now I'm showing you guys a number 4 concealer. This one is from Limelife by Alcone. It is a creamy wax based concealer. Now I use this one to clean up my eyebrows and to also conceal my eyelids. It is water resistant. It does have primer built into the formula, so this is a perfect primer for when you're prepping your eyelids before applying eyeshadow. So the concealer is perfect for covering up any skin imperfections, any blemishes, any tattoos that you may have. It's perfect for that. I love using it on my light eyelids because it does have primer built into the formula. So it's perfect for prepping your eyelids before applying any eyeshadow. And you will not get any smudges or creases in the eyeshadow throughout the day. I usually tend to set my concealer with translucent powder, and depending on the eyeshadow, will determine whether or not I set my eyelids with a powder or not. So this does last all day. It is very full coverage, so you really don't want to use a lot, and you really want to make sure that you're building up in coverage to your desired amount. So now once I have my eyes completely concealed with concealer, I'll use a blenderful sponge and I'll go ahead and get that evenly smoothed out in preparation for applying my eyeshadow. So that should be completely blended out. But in this video, I'm not going to show you guys what or how I apply my eyeshadow. I'm just going to jump right into the next step of applying my foundation. So my eyes are done. I didn't do too much to my eyes. Just something basic for today. But we're going to go ahead and jump into the next step, which is applying the foundation. And I have my Trio palette, which I love so much. And it has 2 concealers and 1 foundation palette. So I'm going to go ahead and use a brush to go ahead and pick up a little bit of product, and I'm just going to smooth that all over my face. And with just a few swipes in my palette, it will pretty much cover up the majority of my face. As you see there, the blendability is so smooth. The pigmentation of the foundation is incredible. Look at that. All I needed was just a very little bit of amount of foundation. So you will get an all-day wear with this foundation. The pigmentation is incredible, as I mentioned to you guys. So you don't need a lot. As I stress is enough, you want to build up in coverage. This is not liquid foundation. So it does take some getting used to, but I guarantee you guys will love this foundation. If you never tried it, or if you guys are interested in trying it, definitely send me a message and I will be glad to help you guys out and get you guys color matched. So I am, once I've already pretty much smothered that foundation all over my face, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it is completely covered and saturated. I can go ahead and go in and dab it into my skin so it doesn't go into your pores. It doesn't sink into your pores, doesn't cause any breakouts. It just pretty much mimics your natural skin. I don't use a lot because I love the way it looks so natural, but you can definitely build it up in layers if you guys choose to. So as you guys can see, the foundation has already been applied. Doesn't really look like I have much on, but it literally mimics my skin. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the number 3 concealer to brighten up my under eyes using Limelife's brush to apply the concealer, and I'm just dabbing it so lightly into the palette as you see there. You do not need a lot of concealer unless you choose to, but once again, you want to build up in coverage. So I only apply very little with the brush, and then I kind of just dab it onto my skin right underneath my eyelid there, and I just work it in. I don't need a lot to get the coverage that I'm desiring. So once again, just dab it in there just a few times, apply it and dab it onto the skin, and just kind of work it into the skin, going up towards the outer corner of your eye. Since this is a wax-based concealer and foundation, it really just warms up to your skin. And you'll notice that once it warms up to your skin, the blendability is just amazing. It took me some getting used to this concealer when I first tried it. When I first tried it, I'll be honest, I didn't care for it, but because I didn't know how to properly apply the foundation, the concealer, sorry, I was using too much because I was used to using a lot versus your liquid concealers, but less is more. So once again, you really want to just make sure to build up in coverage, use a little, and then just kind of work your way up on the desired amount of concealer. So now that I'm done, I usually go back in with my foundation brush and I kind of just remove that harsh line between the concealer shade and the foundation. So it just kind of just blends it pretty much seamlessly between the two shades. So anytime before I apply my powder to set my concealer, I always want to make sure that I don't have any creases under my eyes before applying my translucent powder or any facial powders to set that concealer. I am using the number 1 from Limelife, which is our facial colored pressed powder. It is an amazing powder. It's HD powder. So I go in there and I just set that right under my eyes, and then I just lightly brush off any excess that I do have on my skin. Now once I get that completely dusted off, I'm going to go ahead and pick up my number 6 facial powder from Limelife. And I'm going to use one of Limelife's brushes to apply my facial powder to go ahead and conceal or set my foundation. I just dab it onto my skin, and as you guys see, it is a very light colored pressed powder. It's not too dark. It's meant to be a very light shade, but this is a shade that is perfect for my foundation, which is the Shinto 3. Now that I have that completely applied, I'm going to go ahead and pick up some powder to contour my face, and I am using the number 9 facial powder. This HD powder is phenomenal for contouring. Now as you guys see in my trio palette, all those shades are for a facial powder, so I chose to use the number 1, which is the lightest shade that we have, to highlight my under eyes. The number 6 is of course my facial powder to set my foundation, and that number 9 is a contour shade that I use, which is actually meant for a facial powder. But I love it so much that I use pretty much every shade that I can, and it works very well for me. So as you see, everything is definitely coming together, and I just love it, love it, love it, love it. So now I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of blush. This one is in the color Peachy. I'm just going to dab it there on the beginning of the apples of my cheeks and kind of just work it up very lightly, so I'm not moving too much of the contour powder that I just applied. Just do a little bit of a smile and apply upwards and kind of just blend it out. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick up a highlighter, and we're just going to do a little bit of highlighting the face. Now who else gets excited when they do their makeup and it just comes out the way it's meant to? So this is the final result, something natural, something soft, but yet full coverage. So what do you guys think? Well, if you guys are interested or have any questions regarding the products that I use, please hit me up and I will definitely get back to you guys as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.